Well, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Hokey smokes. It is gray and foggy outside, so thumbs up. It's not too cold. It is chill, of course. I went outside to have to do some stuff this morning, and for the first 30 seconds, it was okay, but the next 30 seconds was, oh boy. So, yay on that. But still, at least I slept at least some. I went to bed early for me. So, yay. At least I got some sleep. That's a good thing. Oh boy, I mean, I was tired yesterday. So, all sorts of fun. It took me like 3 hours to do my walkies yesterday because I had to buy some actual stuff that took time in Walmart. So, yay. But still, I got stuff done, and that's good. And of course, front-loading of videos. Hey, if you could toss me a like, that'd be awesome. If you could subscribe to the channel, that'd be very cool. If you could leave me a comment, that would be double plus good. And I would like to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These are literally beautiful and literally awesome people who help to keep me and my aging pet metabolizing. We both appreciate that to no end. Definitely a thumbs up. If you would like to help keep us both metabolizing, I have links to my Patreon in the video description, along with a PayPal for possible donations, an Amazon wishlist link that I'm going to be updating as soon as I finish with this video, so it'll have pet food and such on it. Thumbs up for that. And yeah, so thumbs up for that. Very, very cool. Front loading of videos over. Yay! Hopefully I said it correctly. I'd be surprised if I did. First thing I did upon waking up, well, I mean, I came in here and I got my pet all happy. I fed her and stuff like that, made sure that there was water, and so I think I have a hair going across my glasses. But then, because I've been needing to do this, I went and, after being awake for like 10 minutes, well, out of bed for 10 minutes, I unplugged my computer and I took it downstairs with my air compressor. And then I blew the dust out of my computer because it had reached that point. It was just too dusty. When I usually have a thermal margin of like, well, if it's non-dusty and I'm editing, it'll be like 30, which means it's got 30 degrees Celsius before it overheats. Lately, I've been getting down to like a thermal margin of 15 degrees Celsius. So it's like within 15 degrees of overheating, which means, oh boy, I got too much dust in there. So I blew the dust out, and that was very good. Definitely a thumbs up on that. I also rearranged some of my cables up here, so now I have an HDMI cable, finally, after years, running from my video card to my second monitor through a switcher where I have my PS4 and my Xbox hooked in. So when I have none of the Xbox or the PS4 on, then I have two monitors for the computer. I turn on one of the two consoles, and immediately that second monitor turns into the console monitor, and I'm down to single monitor. Turn that off, and boink, it's back to two monitors. So, yay, thumbs up for that. I'm just glad I got the dust blew out of it, but I brought it back up here, plugged it all in, and first thing I did when I turned it on, it locked up entirely during the power on self-test. So bad, I couldn't even hit the power switch or the reset switch to make it reset or turn off. It wouldn't do that. I had to unplug it to make it turn off. Oh boy. And then when I plugged it back in and started it back up, the fan on the side was so loud. Oh my God, it was terrible. I was afraid it was going to be overheating, so I got everything going, and it was fine, but it was just loud. So I turned it off, gave it a few moments, was thinking, what the heck am I going to do? Turned it back on, and it is quiet, and it is just, oh, it's beautiful. Definitely a thumbs up on that. A good thing. Now I just have to get that thermal paste for the new CPU and the motherboard ordered, have that show up, and then I can get the parts of the computer all put together, and I'll have my new machine. I mean, it'll be partly a new machine. The case is like 10 years old, so hopefully the case and the power supply and all that will work. I need to replace some of the fans in there. I have two tiny fans at the base and the front of the computer. One of them is so locked up it will not even move in the slightest. The other one does, but And then the side fan for the side panel here, that one is the one that was loud, so I need to replace that one. Still, life is life. At least it's running. That's a good thing. Past that, I don't have a ton here, except I do want to talk about this just because I was being goofy with it in my own head and talking about it with the Uncle Bonbons. It is a mixed organ smoothie, and it does have extra liver. You can ask for extra human liver in your mixed organ smoothie if you would like. Now, it's for a limited time only. They caught some of the stragglers at a local marathon. Nobody will miss the losers. And so there's just going to have mixed human organ smoothies for a while at your local Uncle Bonbons. Thumbs up for that. Yay! Again, past that, not a whole ton going on. I've been putting up more of these, as you can tell, with their labels and covers. And there's a ton of things that, boy, I want to push through my executive dysfunction so I can do for the channel. I watched a playthrough of, I talked about this one, A Torch in the Darkness. The full playthrough time of that is about an hour. You can win or lose the game in an hour. You're going through 9 dungeons in order on 2-page spreads. It's very, very abstracted. It is not a granular type game. What you have is a character with no stats, just the stuff you're bringing with you and a few skills. As you enter the dungeon, each dungeon has a boss you have to kill, but you have a deck of playing cards. You turn over the deck of cards, you look on the page spread to see what that is. And it might say, this is a door with a whole lot of locks in it. Risk it! With an exclamation point. Now, risk it with an exclamation point means you have to make a skill test. And you have to make a skill test until you succeed, or you're stuck there. Now, skill test is you take a look at your equipment and you take a look at your skills and you decide which one of these is relevant. Like if you have locks and you have the reasoning skill and you have an axe and armor, you could reasonably say, okay, there's locks on there. Well, with my reasoning skill, that would allow me to think it through, and with an axe, well, that could show me where I need to chop the door to get past the locks. So you'd have 1d6 for your axe, 1d6 for reasoning, and then you can also push it. You have 6 points of stress. You can get up to those 6 points of stress by pushing it, which gives you an extra die. Then you roll those 3 dice and you pick the highest. If it's a 6, you succeed in the task. A 4 or 5, you succeed, but there's a negative consequence. And if it's a 1, 2, or 3, you fail. Negative consequences are things like conditions, or you lose some equipment. Conditions are things like bleeding, or impaled, or bashed, or all sorts of things like this. When you have more conditions than you have skills, you die. So if you have 3 skills and you get 4 conditions, you're dead. So you can die easily. But if you roll those dice and you get a 6, door opens, you flip the next card. The suit cards are the big bosses where you can really have a chance of dying. And you keep the jokers in the deck because those are demons. You can get corruption as you're playing. 6 points of corruption, you die. 6 points of stress, you can die. You can die so easily. But then the boss battle is just the first one. It is a Viscount, like Aldrin Hund, something like that. This is a big bad boss. You have to get 3 successes in a row to damage, well, not in a row, but 3 successes to kill the boss. If you don't, you die. You'd best bring out everything you got to try and take this thing out. Because again, you need those 3 successes or you die. The guy that I watched play won. So he beat the first dungeon. Now, when you leave the dungeon, you have treasures. Hopefully, because you need to find your treasures. Because there's a downtime phase between dungeons. You have to convert your treasures into stash, 1 to 1. You have 3 treasures, now you have 3 stash. You divide up that stash among various things like your conditions, your stress, your corruption, or buying new equipment, and you have to roll from your dice pool on each of those. You make a roll to see if you get rid of like your conditions. You can lose all of your conditions, or you can lose none of them and have to go into the next dungeon with a full number of conditions. Oh no. And you can get new equipment, and then you head into the next dungeon. So it's very abstracted. You can go through all 9 of them in under an hour. But I still want to play that, along with random solo dungeon fantasy adventure or something like that. And there's just so many good things to play for the channel, and I'm going to do that. Also, now that I've gone on this one, the last thing I want to talk about before I go on to my creative cryptid setting, I saw a webcomic for Trolley Man, a superhero. People were calling out for somebody to help these people, because if nobody was going to help them, they were going to die. And Trolley Man can do it, only he has to have somebody, some innocent person, die so that he can save the lives of the others. Just like in the trolley problem. So somebody innocent who calls for Trolley Man has to die or nobody gets saved. And I like that idea just because it's so grim. Trolley Man. Now, the last thing I'm going to be going on is some of my cryptid stuff. One thing I've been thinking about before that I've wanted to talk about, because I keep thinking about it, is another one of my speech things where a cryptid is talking to a human being. Now, I have mentioned that cryptids can get deeply philosophical or sidetracked even in the middle of something where they are highly charged emotionally. Just the right thing at the right time, and they get derailed onto a let's be intellectual for a time sort of level. Some cryptids, of course, wouldn't. Clausy, Alan, Clausy doesn't even like to use her brain for thinking. She's not going to be stopped by a philosophical statement. But I was thinking of, there's one cryptid who would be beating a human being to death. And something that the person, as they're being beaten, would say, like, it's not like this, I can't die like this, is too shameful. Something along those lines. And so the cryptid who's killing them just stops instantly because they say, no, please, no. There is no shame in what is happening to you. You are a victim. There is no shame in being a victim. This is a tragedy and a crime that I am committing upon you. If there is any shame, it is mine, not yours. Don't feel shame. There is no need for it. Rather, you should be feeling anger, righteous anger toward me. Again, this is a tragedy. I am murdering you. It is a crime, and I don't mean anything like the petty human courts or legalness. I mean inside, I know what I'm doing to you is wrong. Inside, you know what I'm doing to you is wrong. This is a crime. Don't feel shame. There is no shame. Instead, die with your spine straight. Spit in my face and die with a curse on your lips. It will not change the outcome. I am still going to kill you and eat you. But it is better to go with that on your face than it is to feel even a moment's shame. There is no shame in what I am doing to you. And then they kill them. Painlessly, after the horrible beating they've been giving them. And then, of course, afterward, it's just, again, they state, because all the shame is mine. And then they devour the corpse. Because, of course, when a cryptid eats you, there's really nothing left. They have the insides that are larger. Their digestive tracts are larger on the inside than they are on the out. Even though a cryptid can get full from eating a cheeseburger, large fries, and a medium shake, they might not even be able to finish the shake, they can still choke down an entire 250-pound adult human being. They'll be so full it's almost painful, but their gut can still hold all that meat. Thumbs up for that. But yeah, they'll get philosophical. They'll get deep that way. They feel these things. Sometimes. It depends on the individual and the cryptid. I had talked about at some point that one person, cryptid who runs an Uncle Bonbons, was talking about how it's, cryptids, as they're eating human products, will occasionally stop to be thankful for the person that they're eating. And it's true. They will just suddenly stop in the middle of chewing up a handful of human jerky, and it's like, this is really good. Thank you, whoever you were, for giving up your life for this. I appreciate that. Nom, 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 nom. And then they just go back to eating, but they do feel these things. Thumbs up for that. Now let's see what else I have. Oh, actually, this is a non-creative thing, but I still want to talk about it anyway. I was watching a biology video. There is a specific spot in your head, a specific brain structure that gives disgust over rotten food. When you are trying to eat or smell or look at rotten food, that part of your brain lights up. When you feel sick over rotten food, it's because of that. They've also found that part of the brain is in charge of moral disgust as well. When you see something that you don't like and you say, oh God, that just makes me feel sick, that part of your brain, the rotten food part of your brain, is lighting up. You are feeling moral disgust in the same part of your brain that controls your disgust over trying to eat rotten food. So yeah, when you say, oh, I feel sick when I watch that, yeah, you do. You really do. And I've opened up 24 hours. Well, let's wait a minute here. Then I'll open up 24 hours for the comments. Because I do want to work more with the character of Niss, who is the daughter of Jacob and Monica Dempty. And how she is going to the community college and she is friends with Kay. Kay is getting more used to Niss as a cryptid, because number one, she is already more inclined to not reject her friend knowing that she eats human beings, because she already knows she's a cryptid, and that didn't scare her away. She knows she's not human. She's been wearing this necklace that has a booster that boosts up her cryptid presence and opens up her third eye when she talks to Niss about Niss eating people. So she's got a lot of things going on, and the fact, the more modern type of person is going to have a less horrific sort of response in general, not in specifics, broad painting. But she's much, much more inclined to not push away and not reject her friend. She's still going to be fighting and struggling, because there's a part of her that wants to run away screaming, and there's a part of her that wants to, of course, push away and reject Niss. But the larger part of her, bigger than those other two parts combined, looks at Niss and still just sees her friend. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. Going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I can't American Sign Language, brain. We have somebody, I'm hoping. Jesse Koskinen, thumbs up, thank you much. Good to see you in the comments. And my favorite type of pizza is actually sausage, pepperoni, jalapenos, banana peppers, mushrooms, and pineapple. It's Relit, Tyler. I'm going to be playing Torch in the Dark here very soon for the channel. I'm definitely open. Caster the Cenobite, thumbs up. There is Chris Hardbody with 9, who I just hope you don't get in trouble because of your PFPs. There's Dark Angel, thumbs up. Zachariah Lloyd, thumbs up and thank you. With good advice. Good information about the Kyoto song by The Cure. I've always wondered about that. And it was the lead singer had a dream about cannibalism, while it was either girlfriend or wife had a dream about drowning, so mix them together. There's JAYY, thumbs up, thank you, good to see you. Flora Mew, thumbs up and thank you. Lewis, greatly appreciated. I gotta go take down an entire tree to make sure I get saplings. Oh boy. We have Shinra, thumbs up and thank you. And oh yes, leeches in your nose. There is Pepper, thumbs up and thank you. Larry from space, greatly appreciated. Stephen Blair, thumbs up. 77 Arcturus with a whole bunch of stuff. I read every single comment that you make. I just wish I could answer them much, much better. Thumbs up, thank you very, very much. Very good to see you. We have nobody else, but that was 14 people who left me comments in the past 24 hours. Greatly appreciate getting me out of my head, into the world, and dealing with real people. Definitely a thumbs up on that. Well, it's a Sunday, and so I'm just going to take it kind of easy today. I'm going to do editing. I'm going to try and record some solo stuff for tomorrow's editing, so we shall see how that goes. If I can't get anything done, that's okay. I talked with my med manager about my lack of motivation, how I still get things done, but how I'm not beating my head against the wall about stuff anymore. I have felt anxiety and pressure to be a pro-published writer my whole life. But now, understanding my issues and how the entire deck has been stacked against me my entire life, that pressure is gone. I don't feel anxiety. If I don't get published professionally, life is life, isn't it? Hopefully you can get done the things that you want to get done, but if you don't beat yourself up, no reason. And of course, please take precautions where you are. If people are getting sick, try masking. Try keeping like a 6-foot distance from others. If people are getting hurt where you are, please be careful. You don't want anyone getting hurt. Definitely a thumbs up, especially yourself. But if you're out walking and you hear the mournful howl of that bus horn, the bus with your name on it, it's out hunting. Someone's going to get hit by that bus. Someone's going to die. So if you hear that horn, hopefully it ain't you. Until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and quite frankly, that is a very good thing.